Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at more gut feeling stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. A story about someone not listening to the gut feeling. My mom and dad went to Texas via train and then bus. They got to the bus station in Dallas after leaving the train station. And walking into the bus station, my dad got a bad feeling. He stood outside the building, overwhelmed with this bad feeling. My mom asked him what was wrong, and my dad said, I don't know, something doesn't feel right. He couldn't explain it any further than it feeling like an impending doom. My mom laughed and told him he was being foolish. After a minute, he said okay and went into the bus station. My mom sat on a bench and dad went to use the restroom. While he was taking a leak, a young guy jumped him and stabbed dad repeatedly, a total of 27 times. He was trying to steal my dad's wallet. Dad fought him off as best as he could. Finally, security heard the commotion. Ran into the bathroom and saved my dad. He almost died from his injuries, recovered, then had a massive heart attack about 6 months later. He survived the heart attack and lived another 16 years after that. Dad died in 2012 when he was 83. He was a tough old goat and I miss him every day. Yo, this dad is an actual warrior. He survived like 5 freaking things. That's crazy. Amazing. Seriously, dads are amazing. That was what the feeling was, the impending doom. That he might die if he were to get on the train. But luckily, he survived. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I hope the guy that attacked the dad is literally in prison for a long time because that person does not deserve to be out here. My best story for listening to my gut feeling was in a psychiatric hospital. Now, before everyone's judgments fly off the rail, no, I'm not a wacko, but needed some help mentally. Mental hospitals are like regular hospitals, but for your brain. Doesn't mean I'm any less of a person or what I say shouldn't be discarded. I voluntarily committed myself and was receiving help for severe depression, suicidal ideations, both present since 2nd grade, and this is occurring freshman year of college, and PTSD, for those of you wondering. Anyways, these kind of places freak me out, and my first night or morning wasn't so great. A girl literally freaked out without any signs and ran out. She scared me. She's important to the story. So that girl that scared me was there with me until my duration there ended. The last day, we got a new round of patients. We will call the girl that scared me W. Anyways, W was hanging out and she turned out to be someone who is really sweet. She has the mentality of a small child, is a grown woman, and she had trouble showing her emotions, and you could tell she was mentally a child. So in this new round of patients, there was a man. Don't know anything about this man, never spoke a word to him. We will call him B. Almost immediately since arriving, B seemed to seek out W like a heat-seeking missile. Was around her immediately, and you could see them alone a lot. Well, I was going to check how she was doing, and every time I approached, B would get up and leave as soon as he saw me coming. Weird, I thought. I checked on W and she seemed fine, but that B gave me a weird feeling. So I went ahead and asked her what B had been saying to her, and she says, he asked me to come to his room and to lay down with him. Me, has he said anything else to you? W, he wants to be my boyfriend. Me, has he asked you to do anything? W, he asked me to suck his pee-pee and have sex with him. She clearly had no idea what this man was asking of her, and she didn't even know what sex entailed. She thought it was just laying in bed together. So obviously many red flags were going off at this point. So I went to the other sound-minded adults in there who were there for depression-related things and whom had adored the sweetheart of a woman. Afterwards, I immediately notified the staff what this man had been saying to her and trying to get her to perform sexual acts on him. I notified the parents because the supervision wasn't always the soundest, and I knew they wouldn't let anything happen to her, and the staff can make it to where they don't interact when supervised. After that, I stayed with her until I was discharged. Growing up getting bullied, I have in some ways become very protective of other people. Even if you're a complete stranger, doesn't mean you don't mean anything. I'll bend over backwards to help anyone. What the hell? Why is he allowed to be around her kind of thing? If mentally she's a child, ain't no way you will let a grown man to be interacting with her like that. Yuck! Seriously, what the hell? I hope he's staying a different place now. Many years ago, I was going to Paris for a 5-day vacation. I was to fly out of New York City the following day. The day before the flight, I had this dreadful feeling of something not being right. It was an overwhelming and terribly depressing feeling. I thought I was worried about a close relative who was very ill. I decided to delay my flight by 2 days, and as I cancelled the reservation, I felt immediate relief. The following day, the flight I was to take crashed, killing all on board. Pure coincidence, I'm sure, and my relative recovered completely, but still. A final destination moment. They escaped death. No, but seriously, that's actually so lucky of them. The guardian angel definitely was sitting on their shoulder that day. I had made plans to go see a movie with my boyfriend of the time later that week. Got a text from him that he was going to see it that night with some friends from work. I knew he was lying, just had a feeling about it. Turns out I was right. It wasn't coworkers, but one coworker who'd apparently been hitting on him like crazy. He'd been cheating on me the whole time with her. Wow. That's messed up, man. And then after the side chick leaves him, he's gonna come running back to his ex-girlfriend and wondering what happened. So my brother and I were on a beach in Mexico about 500 yards away from the resort we were staying at. We were sitting there drinking, talking, and just hanging out. I turned my head and looked down the beach, and about 100 yards or so down, I saw a shady figure who from that distance looked to be drunk. He was facing the ocean and stepping forwards, then back, then forwards, then back. I didn't think much of it at first. I looked back, and about 50 yards behind him, there was a crowd of people hanging out in the dark at the edge of the beach near a parking lot. So my brother and I kept talking and drinking, and about 5 minutes later, I looked back to where the guy was, and he was closer. Another few minutes passed, and I looked back, and he was about 50 yards from us. At that point, I could tell he had a long black coat on, like a trench coat or something. I had my brother look that way and told him what I was seeing. He didn't think much of it at the time, so we continued hanging out for a few minutes, and again I look over, he was 10 yards away from us at the most, staring directly at us, and when I looked, he quickly turned his head towards the ocean. He was still doing that forward step, back step thing. At this point, I told my brother it was time to go, and that guy had been moving towards us slowly for a good 15 minutes. I stood up and said something directly to the guy. I don't remember what. He stopped and faced us, looking directly at us and didn't move. I backed away slowly for about 10 yards or so, then turned to walk back to the resort with my brother, looking back every 5 steps or so. I was absolutely convinced that the guy was trying to murder us, kidnap us or some shit like that. Last time I told this story, a Mexican national replied and said that it was definitely going to be a murder based off of what part of the country we were in. So I guess my gut potentially saved my life. That's so creepy. Oh my goodness. As like, you're talking, you look back, oh, okay. You look back again, the person's closer. You look back again, he's closer and closer and closer. Freaking scary, man. Hell no. The first time I noticed he's coming closer, I would have left. I'm not taking any chances today. Woo. That's scary. I swear. Guys are always like, oh, it's fine, no big deal. Come on now. Like if someone is like just staring at you for like 15 minutes and they're coming closer every single time, yeah, nothing good's about to happen. I had gone on a Tinder date that went horribly. Right when I got there, she says, oh, thank God you're cute because I've been turning down guys waiting for you. Great first impression. Her roommate wound up meeting with us that night, and she invited me to her birthday party at her house the next day. While hanging out, Tinder girl got progressively worse over the night. When I woke up the next morning, my gut told me to call her and make sure it was cool I'd come to this house party, because I was new to Seattle and needed to meet people. Something also told me to wear a dinosaur button-down shirt that I had never worn before. Wound up meeting my fiance there. She was a co-worker of Tinder girl's roommate, and she also tried talking herself out going to the party, but something kept telling her to go. My opening line when walking up to her was, what do you think of the dinosaurs on my shirt? She thought I was a douche until I walked up and said that. Trust your guts, people. Oh, this was a nice one. I thought it was going to be like Tinder girl almost killed me kind of thing. But he met his fiance. That's so cute. I guess sometimes there is a gut feeling to just tell you to go. Instead of being like, don't go, the gut feeling is like, go. I was a delivery driver for a Chinese restaurant. My boss was an asshole. He literally had no limit as to how far we would go to deliver. So I was on my last delivery before I could head home, and where I was headed was 30 minutes from my own house. There was no address, just the name of the college hall I was delivering to, and phone number to call to let him know I was outside. Going there, I had an uneasy feeling. I knew this was a bad area, lots of drugs and gun violence. Even though it's a college town, it was right dead in the middle of a horrible area. I get there at 10 p.m, my anxiety is through the roof, and something is telling me to just get the hell out of there. But I called them. I called, they didn't answer. Called again, didn't answer. Called one more time, didn't answer, so I left. I got home and my mum was hysterically crying watching the news. A different delivery driver from a different Chinese restaurant with the same name as the one I work at was delivering to the same college hall I was at. He was shot dead 5 minutes after I left. What? Why would they just kill him like that? I'm so confused. Like, was that guy delivering drugs? Like, I'm so confused. Why? Why would they just kill him for delivering something? That's freaking scary. I mean, I'm glad this guy's okay. So sad for the other guy though. But yeah, imagine being home, right? And you know your son is working for this particular restaurant. And then you hear that they got shot dead and you know your son is currently working right now. Oh my gosh. She must have felt so freaking scared. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!